Everyone, welcome to the next session of drawing for design and architecture. And today we're going to just draw in three vanishing point perspective, one of the geometric form. Just practicing a little bit more before we start really, doing much more, interesting forms. But that's the best, as I already explained it. Drawing the geometric forms is the best way to practice, of course, and understand the perspective. So I share the screen with you here. Okay. So you see, we have yet another form, and we're going to try to just draw this different variants of it, but in three vanishing point. Yes. So the proportions, because you see, this is the square, top, and another square top is there, except that you extracted from this half of the circle, and you add it to this place here. You add half of it of this kind of prism rectangle with this square kind of side, and you cut it in it part the kind of cylinder. You extracted half of the cylinder from it. You took it away. So that's how you got of course that's how you got this kind of forms here, by extraction. Okay, here for example is by extraction, or for by addition to it. So again, extraction from it. Just let's see over there. Moment. Just going on here. Okay, it's okay. So as I said, this is better. Okay. So so as I said, is by why is not drawing? Just a second. Because it's the select. Okay. Okay. So sometimes some technical problems happens. So you see, by extraction of the half of the cylinder, half, you extract it out, and here you added half of the kind of cylinder, a flat cylinder. You cut it in half, and you add on the other side only this part you see of the cylinder on the other side, a bigger one. Anyway, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. So let's go. We draw this in two vanishing point perspective. So few, of course, conversion lines. So first we will review from the bird view, and after we're going to do it the one view of this. So let's go approximately less or more the same convergences as we see here. As you're going to get much more comfortable, you can actually draw. You don't have to draw so many. You can draw just two, and another two kind of leading ones. And the same is in the vertical. You can go just with this, for example, with one angle like that and one angle like this. That's it. And whenever you're going to after align, you're just going to kind of align this accordingly to this kind of conventions. So as you get better and better, good with this, I just kind of, at the end, you don't have to even draw the lines. Always lines, they help, but you might not necessarily in the future, you might not really draw this conversion lines all the time to create yourself kind of grid. But it's not wrong to do that. Even if you're professional and everything, it's not like no big deal, and they disappear anyway after when you finish the drawing. If you draw on the paper, of course, digitally is much more easy to read, get rid of them. So let's go. So now, I'm going to imagine this form as now is another approach we're going to do. We don't going to draw anymore what we see here, but we're going to imagine right away different positions of this form. And I'm going to do it like this would be on the base, and this will be on the top. Okay, so how much I need to have here? Two squares, because I have half square here, and another half there, and this is full square. So again, the composition is composed from two squares. So let's say if I decide that the base is here, oops, a little bit nicer, that the base, I start from here, and I raise up in three vanishing point perspective the entire form. So just let me do kind of line which correspond less or more with this convergences. Yeah, and I need two squares. So one approximately I have here, and another I have approximately here. Yeah, and now if I find the middle of it, somewhere here I have half of it. Yeah, and again, if I do this, if I connect the corners here and there, I have another middle. So I go with this over there. Yeah. So you see now, look, in the middle, I have my square. Yeah. My square side of this prism. And here I have half square I need to add to the side. Yes. So I go with the convergences as they are here. And from here, I would go kind of going less or more that way. Let me check out if I'm going to have the squares correctly. 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, that's is okay. A little bit narrower here. Yeah. So you have this kind of form. See? Okay. So now if we start from the top over there, look, easiest would be to actually you see circumscribe the ellipse in this area, treating these two parts as one square. Yeah. So for example, major is from the middle. The major is coming, converging to the right, and the minor is perpendicular to it. So what it shows me, of course, it shows me approximately how this circle going to be circumscribed in this area. Okay. Well, you can do it nicer, a bit this way. And here it's going to be less or more something around those lines. So you see now, I am taking only half of it. So now with the top of it, you go this way, convergence, and as you get there, you're going to have the rounded surface attached to this that way. Yeah. So now you can erase this because you don't need this anymore. You just needed this for what? Find approximately the form, this form of half cylinder attached to this prism with the square side. Yeah. So now you see I have just a second. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. So now we have this kind of prism attached to the half. I did it better the conversions. Yeah. Attached to this kind of, you see, prism over here. So far we have these two parts, and we're gonna, before we go to the lower part, we're going, because here is the middle, you see, and that's the middle point, we're going to add this cylinder. Yeah. So it comes from there. So the major is still converging to the right over there, and perpendicular to it you have the minor. So you know the base is approximately something like this. Yeah. And you go now, you extrude it, you know, a little bit the form. Yeah, using the convergences you have it there, and it's approximately one square or something. So somewhere there, you see, you're going to have, and this little bit angle going to be, yeah, this ellipse, a little bit much more angular, this ellipse going to be there. So you're going to have approximately, you see, this kind of, okay, this kind of cylinder there. Yeah, over there. And now we have the lower part. Yeah, it's kind of as a bridge. Yeah, you know? Yeah. And what is happening there? Well, you can of course create yourself kind of square there, half of the square, and another you add over there. For example, a square is going to be a little bit kind of lower, somewhere there, and you have from the middle, major is going to that direction, minor is there, so it's going to be approximately something around those lines. Yeah. So you see now you're going to take this helping square and cut this part over there, and furthermore extruded the inside from it, and you just add this side, because this side you're gonna see, yeah, okay, this, no, okay. So then we have the form done already. So one is done, and let's do now the same, but from the from the worm view. So this was from the bird view, yeah, and now we're going to do from the worm view. So the only difference is going to be that I'm going to have still, I'm going up, so I'm going to have approximately, you see, this kind of, line of convergences, yeah, okay, and maybe 3. And of course, another I will do from, of course, this direction over there and up there. Oops, sorry, a little bit nicer, a little bit like this, and a little bit something maybe like that. And now, of course, I have third vanishing point verticals. I'm going to go approximately this way. So if I start from the same side, from here, yeah, from this side, okay, imagine this form vertically, how it's going to go. So let's say the front is approximately, let's say here, and is raising up, yeah, it's raising up, okay. So now the corner is somewhere there and is raising up over there, yeah, because my third vanishing point is somewhere far away in the sky, okay. And so we have this, and we need what? 1 square. So I go somewhere from there, okay, and the 1 square is somewhere there, and another going to be approximately somewhere there, yeah. So now the thickness of it is half of it. So half of it is going to be somewhere there, yeah. So you have approximately something around this line, this 4, yes. The basic form is 2 squares. Now look, so the basic form is approximately like that, yeah, there's no more, okay. And now I need half of this square, so it's somewhere there, the point. So I know that this is the half. Oops, sorry, a little bit nicer, the conversion lines, yeah, as you go. So 1 is there. And now if I kind of make this middle line, oops, sorry, middle line somewhere there, I have over there. So another half is somewhere there, yeah. So that's for me this kind of, the upper part of this, the middle part of this prism, yeah, okay. And now, of course, here what I have, if I want to extrude this part, so I'm gonna create it kind of half, the kind of squarey form over there, yeah, okay. And what I'm gonna do now, of course, the major comes from here, yeah, and the minor gonna be over there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of get this kind of, ellipse, and I'm gonna need it only this part of the ellipse for what? For having this kind of, arch here, yeah, okay, this kind of arch, yeah. And of course, as the convergence lower goes over there and the thickness goes over there, somewhere there, you see, is that what I'm gonna see, yeah. So this is probably going to be kind of, a little bit in shadow, yeah, the upper part of it, yes. Of course, the sides, they go as they go, yeah, this way and that way, yeah, maybe actually a bit higher there even. And we go with the upper part now, yeah, with the top part. So now we have to do what? In this square, we have to circumscribe circle. So how are we going to go? You see, minor is here, major is here. So it's going to go which way? Oh, it's going to go that way. You see, all this ellipse going to go this way. Yeah, so this part going to go that way, like that. Yeah, and also here you're going to see very little of it. Yeah, because it's kind of rounded, so it's going to be very little. So now we have it approximately, the right form of the top of this blue kind of half cylinder. And in this middle, of course, we have the major coming to the right, yeah, and minor is there perpendicularly, and we have kind of inside form, yeah. So the ellipse going to go that way. And now with these conversion lines, we go as they go over here, yeah, oops, a little bit nicer, over there. And from there, I go kind of like this over there. And they kind of one square, so it's going to be somewhere there. But this time, normally parallelly, going to be something like this. But because I am in three vanishing point perspective and is going the third vanishing point perspective to the sky, I need to, you see, this angle, I need to a little bit exaggerate. So now my ellipse going to be a little bit that way, you see? So as you can see, you will see the distortion of this cylinder there. So now both drawings we done, yeah, in one and the other perspective. And of course, we can kind of going to draw them a little bit nicer to kind of conclude this session. Okay, and let's say I'm going to put what kind of color here, a little bit different. Let's say, well, this kind of reddish one. So let's go. So brief kind of strokes here and there to just kind of conclude this. So you see, now I'm going to have approximately, just a second, right here. Good. So let's go. Kind of conclude these forms, you know, intervention from perspective and completely imaginary. Yeah, we're kind of imagining really. We didn't draw exactly what the picture is because it wasn't the point. We kind of imagine it, you know, how it would look in three vanishing point. So we go here with this kind of, you know, possibly straight strokes as much as it is possible. Yeah, try to practice really the strokes so you have the relatively straight lines, and it's doesn't matter if you draw on the digital surface or any other, you know, you still need to kind of, you know, practice those because you should be able, as I mentioned this already previously, if you're digital artist and drawer or something, you should be able, whatever you draw digitally, you should be able to do the same on the paper, yeah, or the other. If it's painting, it should be, you should be able to do exactly the same using paints. Then you can say, I am an artist. Okay, so let's go there, over here, over there, yeah, and so on. And we go this part over here and this part less or more like this, yeah, over here, yeah. So kind of as you draw, you can still adjust certain things, yeah, if it seems to you kind of that it should be a little bit this way or the other, yeah. So you have still, this is the moment when you kind of drawing these forms. Of course, you you kind of getting better and better. And the reason I'm using first, before start drawing architecture, uh, I draw in perspective, different perspective, this kind of forms, because there's many times, and this happens very often, students seems to understand the perspective, three or two vanishing point, but when they come to the architecture and they start drawing, they kind of forgetting that that certain convergences needs to be really logic. Yeah. So once you kind of perfectional, you're going to get the perfection on the geometric forms, you're not going to commit this kind of mistakes. And here we go. Let's say it's kind of rounded, maybe a little bit kind of oops around it. We just show apart the much more funny ones. Yeah. And everything that is rounded and in the digital surfaces is kind of fun to do that. I mean, fun to do it manually. Okay, so let's go there, and that's kind of rounded. So we have less or more this kind of forms. Let's just kind of divide them here as it would go. So I did very kind of strong convergences here, yeah. But if you would like to do have this much more nicer, you will make these conversions not as strong. So you see, this look much better because the convergences are not as strong as this one here. Yeah, but anyway, that's the case. So now you take this off here and there. So you see, now you can add a little bit. It depends where the light is coming, but you have kind of core shadow here. If the light comes somewhere from here, okay. So now you're going to have what when the core shadow starts, you're going to have also what the shade of this cylinder on this form. And of course, this, let's say in shadow, yes, here, and as you go, the shadow is much more lighter on the top. Of course, here you have darker, and you're going to have even projection of some kind of shadow on the ground. Yeah. So and of course here what's going to happen is rounded surface. So as the light comes somewhere here, going to start your core shadow and going to kind of disappear and gently disappear there. So you're going to have this kind of core shadow over there. Okay. And of course, a little bit to add dimension to the forms, a little bit shading somewhere here and there, yeah, to just kind of get it, this kind of much more stronger, shadows. And this ain't gonna happen there. So if you have, for example, light coming like from this area, so you know that somewhere you see the beams of the light gonna come through this part, somewhere there you're gonna have the core, oops, sorry, you're going to have the core shadow somewhere there, and it's going to kind of dispersing everything under there. So you're going to have kind of core shadow, of course, going this way, and the upper part is going to be there, and the lower part going to be there, and everything going to be a little bit in shadow there. So the core shadow is, you see only little over there, yeah. And of course here a little bit something, yeah, because even if it's perfectly in white, this part, you have to watch my videos about shading. So you know that the white here is not the same as the white here, yeah, if this is exposed to the light, and the light is not perpendicularly hitting the surface, but only a little bit from the side. So the white where the light actually hit the edge of this object is always darker the white than the white over there. You can observe this when you kind of take something, and here you're going to have a little bit kind of core shadow also on the top, yeah, a little bit nicer, a little bit some few lines in there. And of course from here you can have it, this is in shadow, this area, yeah. So you're going to have everything in shadow. And of course here what happened if you have this direction of the light, so exactly from here and from the core shadow, that's all kind of projection of the shadow you're going to have on this form. Yes, and this is in light, and here you're going to have what? You're going to have this kind of tunnel, of course having the darker parts lower and the lighter there. And if the light is coming this way, so of course the entire part, let's say you're going to have somewhere there some kind of shadow. So there's the base, yeah, and this is kind of darker, but here you're going to have a little bit something going on there. So anyway, that's kind of brief. Another practice of form, but a little bit different way, because you were imagining right away from the start, right away this form in three vanishing point perspective, and one is the bird view and the other is the worm view. So that's all for today, and see you next time. Bye bye now.